evening. I think we're ready to get started. I'd like to welcome you all to the 1985 Civic Service Award program. My name is Kathy Blackburn, and I'm the city's Community Affairs Officer, and I'll be serving as your MC tonight. The awards tonight will be presented by your hosts, the Cupertino City Council, in various categories including volunteerism, recreation, education, community service, and the City Award, which will be presented to two of our Civic Service Award recipients whose contributions were particularly outstanding during 1984. Our entertainment tonight has been so far presented by David Halliday, pianist, and we've enjoyed that very much. And we'll have a chance to hear David again tonight. We also have the honor of some entertainment being provided by the Monte Vista High School Madrigals during the program tonight, so that's something to look forward to. I want to invite you all to attend the reception after the program. There will be refreshments provided, and it'll be a chance to talk after the program, and hope you'll all be able to come. We are taping the program tonight for broadcast on our government channel, Channel 30, and just in case you'd like to watch yourselves again, the playback will be Wednesday, May 8th at 7:30, and again Wednesday, May 15th at 7:45, and those times are also listed in your Cupertino scene. I would just like to thank Michelle Mann, our cable TV producer, and her staff and United Cable for taping the show tonight. We appreciate that. There are a couple of people who aren't listed on the acknowledgments of your program, and since I have the floor here, I want to make sure that you know who they are. They're city staff, and they work very hard on the program, and I think they deserve mention. First of all, our assistant to the city manager, Barbara Brown, is here, and Barbara helped plan the program and also prepare awards. Barbara? Steve Dowling, our Director of Parks and Recreation, really provided the lion's share of leadership in planning and organizing this year's program. Steve? And Laura Jones, Secretary to the City Manager, was the person who greeted you at the reception table as you came in tonight, and also made practically all of the arrangements for the things that are happening tonight. Laura's sitting in the back so she can be available. And finally, before I turn the program over to Mayor Johnson, I'd like to introduce you to the man who cracks the whip over all of us, our City Manager, Bob Quinlan. Okay, I'd like to turn the program now over to Mayor Johnson. Mayor Phil Johnson.
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see you here tonight. I think most of you are aware that the Chamber of Commerce in the City of Cupertino sponsors a Citizen of the Year award ceremony where each year they select 1 to 2 individuals and honor them for their achievements. And several years ago, the Council decided that in addition to something like that, it's necessary to do something in addition to that, to supplement that program. There are so many people in a community of 40,000 that go unrecognized each year and are deserving of to be recognized for their service and their efforts that they do give to the city. And this has been a very important event to the City Council, and I hope that you enjoy the program that we have for you tonight. The organizations and people that we honor tonight have played a key role in the city. And especially in the last couple of years, in a world that sees ever tightening local budgets, volunteers and people who serve their community have undertaken projects that simply just wouldn't be possible without their help today. And the prime ingredient have really been the people that we're awarding tonight, and we've awarded in the past. These people are the ingredient that have made our city a great place to live. And without their time and energy, I don't know what we'd do. The goodwill, especially of every community, is measured and is a direct reflection of the level of involvement on the part of its citizens. And in Cupertino, we are particularly fortunate to have so many people and to have citizens that care enough about the community to get involved and to give it their time and to create a better environment for all of us to live in. The people that we honor tonight have enhanced all of our lives, and as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, people who help others also help themselves in the process. And with that, I'd like to turn the next segment of the meeting over to Barbara Rogers, and Barbara is going to be making a few presentations in the category of volunteerism. Barbara?
We do have a special category for volunteers, but I think tonight that you'll see that really everybody in every group who is honored do a great deal of volunteering in all their efforts. The Civic Service Award for Volunteerism is given to those who have distinguished themselves by either the variety, quantity, or effectiveness of their volunteer involvement. In many cases, with the people I am about to call upon, all three are involved. In an effort to keep this program moving along, I'm going to call the name of the person and ask him or her to come up while I describe their contributions. Our first award winner is not a person, but rather a group of persons, the Friends of the Cupertino Library. And would David Rohde please come up to accept the award? The Friends of the Cupertino Library are a marvelous group of people who are willing to give of their time and effort to make sure that the community has a high level of service. The Friends of the Library hold 3 book sales each year, which, along with their membership drive, obtain most of the money for purchasing materials, equipment, and services. The Cupertino Library's collection and service to the community is the largest of the Friends' annual sales will be held the weekend of May 18th and 19th. Last year alone, the Friends donated $6,342 worth of material and equipment to the library. From 1979 through last year, the total was well over $25,000. There are currently 107 families and 81 single memberships in the Friends of the Library, with the core group of active members numbering from 25 to 50 people of all ages who work well together to enrich a resource that benefits the whole community. David, on behalf of the entire community, I would like to present this to you and to the Friends of the Cupertino Library. Thank you very much. Our next recipient is Richard Arbuckle. Richard Arbuckle has been working and living in this community since 1971. He is one of those people whose volunteer service is distinguished by all 3 of the criteria: variety, quantity, and effectiveness. Richard has donated his time, his leadership skills, and business services to local Cupertino high schools, Chamber of Commerce, March of Dimes, Crippled Children's Society, Special Olympics, Kiwanis Club, Red Cross, and both city and county governments. His volunteer services have included donation of ambulance services, participation in fundraising activities, leadership of programs and membership campaigns, teaching first aid and CPR, organizing community service projects such as food baskets for the needy, and serving on city and county commissions. Richard, your generosity is very much appreciated, and I'm proud to have this opportunity. Thank you. Tessa Ennals is our next recipient. Could you come forward, please? Tessa is one of the unsung heroes of our volunteer community. She has donated most of her time to youth by service as classroom aide, science aide, and service unit head for Montclair, Stevens Creek, and St. Simon's schools. Tessa has also been a Girl Scout leader. Tessa, thank you very much for serving as a role model to our young people in the community. I'd like to ask Charlotte Chastain to come forward, please, on behalf of the Cupertino Federated Women's Club. Today is particularly appropriate to honor that group because it's their 25th year of volunteer service to the community. In 1984, the 81 club members reported over 11,000 volunteer hours and a total of over $21,000 in donations. The club sponsors a Bobby Sox team, donates materials to Little Souls Nursery, sponsors an annual essay contest in both elementary and high schools, gives scholarships to high school seniors, and more. The club also supports the spinal injury ward at the Veterans Hospital. Charlotte, we're proud to have the Cupertino Federated Women's Club here. I'm proud to honor you this evening. Our next recipient is Ted Griggs. Could you come forward, please? Ted's effectiveness as a volunteer was demonstrated last summer when he spent many hours at Monte Vista writing the computer program for the school's career day. Ted created the program and worked all the bugs out in time for an outstanding, well-organized career day. And thanks to your efforts, Ted, it was a success. We're happy to honor you. Marta Sonnenblick, could you come forward? Marta's volunteer service during 1984 is also distinguished by her unwavering dedication to a particular program, Operation Safe Ride. Marta recruited and organized approximately 50 high school volunteers and numerous parents to participate in a program which offers free rides to teenagers on Friday and Saturday nights, helping to eliminate that deadly combination of drinking and driving. Marta found a location, cars, communication system, and organized the publicity and kickoff. It was worth it, too, because less than 2 months ago, Operation Safe Ride began and is now operating successfully. Marta, thank you very much. Jean Hocutt, could you come forward? Jean obviously has leadership skills, and the Northwest Valley Wise Men Club gets the benefit. Last year, Jean chaired the fundraising committees, recruiting others, organizing, supervising logistics, and generally spending lots of time and effort. His committee's efforts resulted in a projected total of $115,000 raised on behalf of the Northwest Y. Jean has long been an active Y member, and we congratulate you tonight for all you've done. And I'd like now to introduce fellow council member Reed Sparks.
It's really nice to see everyone here tonight. I'm pleased to be presenting, thank you, Ray. I am pleased to be presenting this particular award because as many young people, I spent my high school and college years working for the city of Cupertino and their Parks and Recreation Department. I really believe that recreation is essential to the service of the city and to its helping the way of this life of the city. Through recreation, through recreation, this is our first time with skits, everybody, so I just thought and I'm going to need glasses real soon. Through recreation, we learn fair play, teamwork, and simply how to have fun. There are 2 recipients of the Recreation Award tonight. The award is given to those who have, by their efforts, offered opportunities for others to join in recreational activities. Once again, I would ask you to come forward as I name your name, and I will describe your activities as you come forward. The first recipient is Dave Obenour. Dave has served as an athletic trainer at De Anza College for the past 15 years. Obi is one of those people who doesn't stop with 40 hours a week. He not only provides physical training to his student athletes, but serves as parent, pastor, counselor, and therapist to those who need. Obi has made himself available to high school students and coaches too, making his a household name to every local student with an interest in athletics. Obi has also spent time coordinating the Save Our School sports program, directing the all sports camp, and speaking to numerous groups about athletics and sports medicine. Obi is truly one of the greats, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to present this civic award. Our next group, and if I'm not mistaken, they're all here, with the Cupertino Blue Hills United Boys under 19, so that means it'll all be about my dear, and their coach, please come forward. So all the players are supposed to come along also. Stand around here. The Recreation Award is also given to teams who have achieved. Oh, I see how come they won so many. No. The Recreation Award is also given to teams who have achieved success during the past year, and this team's record is awesome. They were undefeated in league play to start with, going on to become Aberzino Select. That's a great word. Aberzino Select League champion. Got to change the league name. Simple. No. California Youth Soccer District 2 champs. River City Fall Festival in Sacramento champs, Santa Clara Mission, Santa Clara County Classic champions, and runner-ups in the U.S. Olympic Junior Tourney. This is supposed to be, quote, "These gentlemen really eat their Wheaties." This team has also earned the respect for players, parents, coaches, and referees throughout the San Francisco Bay Area for its good sportsmanship on and off the field. Congratulations to their coach, and would he please come forward? Now their coach would like to say a few words.
I thought it was only right to bring the team up here because they did all the work this year. Besides that, they get a chance to be on television, which I'm sure they appreciate that. It's our pleasure to accept this award tonight on behalf of the Cupertino Under-19 Boys Soccer Team and the Cupertino Blue Hills Soccer Club. The boys have won many awards over the past 5 or 6 years that I've been with them, but this award tonight means more to us because it's from the people of Cupertino. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce my fellow colleague, I like that word, Councilman John Gatto, who will introduce the recipients for the Civic Service Awards for Education. Thank you.
Good evening. As Mayor Johnson said, this is quite an event for the city. This is our 3rd year, and I must say each year it gets better with a more appropriate crowd. I have the pleasure this evening of presenting the Education Awards. As we all know, Cupertino is blessed with a fine education system, and the people we're going to honor tonight are those that have helped make that program what it is today and will continue to make it better in the future. The Education Award reflects efforts of that person who has devoted time and energy to make the program we have in this community recognized throughout the state what it is, an excellent education program. First, I'd like to have Cindy McArthur come forward. Cindy and I have the pleasure, I should say, of serving on the Fremont Education Board with Cindy, also known as Super Schools. I'm sure most of you have had some familiarity with Super Schools. Hopefully you've helped contribute to Super Schools. Well, Cindy is one of those tireless people that spends her time and energy making that foundation work. And I can tell you from personal knowledge that Cindy spends a lot of time with that. And in addition to that, she has time to also get involved in other activities. She works at the computer lab at Cupertino High School, and when the discussion of the school closings occurred last year, Cindy was leading the fight in front of the Board of Trustees to keep Cupertino High School open. Cindy, I don't know how you find the time to do all those things. But tonight we're honoring you, and I'd like to come forward and Well, with all those platitudes to Cindy, I can almost just echo them for the next person. The next recipient, would you please come forward, is Georgie Peterson. Georgie is another member of the Cupertino Super Schools Board, and Georgie was responsible for organizing the entire parent fundraising campaign this spring. She spent countless time and energy involved in that, organizing the volunteers of the various schools, getting all of the people to work together, and I might say that her efforts have been very fruitful. In addition to all that, she has provided leadership skills in organizing a number of cells and blocks at the different schools to continue the effort in the volunteer efforts at each of those schools to make the educational programs improved and benefit the children that attend our wonderful schools. Georgie, would you come forward, please, so I can make this presentation? The last recipient for tonight's Educational Awards is a person that has served well at Faria. Will Judy Meyer please come forward? Judy has spent the last 7 years at the Faria School, active in the academics plus school. As I understand, you helped organize it, staff it, and get it going, and have spent untold hours maintaining the program after it began at Faria. You also have provided leadership in district-wide activities by serving on committees for curriculum, budget, and many others. She also, believe it or not, finds time to work for the school district and similar type of committees and activities. Judy, we all wish you tonight to come forward and receive your award for all of the time and effort you've spent in making education what it is in Cupertino. At this time, I'd like to, using Reed's word, introduce my fellow colleague, John Plungy, to make the next group of presentations. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Good evening. I've learned what my former student should have learned a while ago. You got to put the glasses on quickly to see. Also, looking out at the group here, if anyone wants to get married quickly, we've got enough of a crowd that we can provide ushers and all sorts of things for the tennis. The Civic Service Award for Community Service is a broad category, and you'll see by the diversity of the recipients that they represent a wide array of programs and services. And generally, the award for community service is given to a person or an organization that has formulated a program which serves the community or has brought recognition to the city through their unique contribution. The first recipient in this category is Sally Brennan. If you'd come forward, please, Sally.
Sally has the title of Executive Director of Cupertino Community Services. And although she's been involved in the community as Director of Community Services for just over a year, she's really made a name for herself and the organization in that short time. In fact, when I think of Sally and the organization, there's one thought that comes to mind. It's really a quote from a poem by Emma Lazarus, which appears at the base of the Statue of Liberty. Give me your tired, your hungry, and your poor. And many times in Cupertino, we think of Cupertino as an affluent community, and we say we have no poor, we have no tired, we have no hungry. Sally knows they're there, and Sally and the people in community services, Cupertino Community Services, are doing the job. She's dramatically increased the efficiency of the organization, expanded the variety and quantity of needed services to the citizens of Cupertino. Her commitment to helping people, though, is more than just a professional commitment. It's a personal thing, reflecting her personal values. In addition to her part-time, and this she considers it, or it's listed as part-time, although I think most people would consider it as time and a half. Her part-time position as Executive Director, she has spent a great deal of additional time in the Cupertino community, educating people about Cupertino Community Services and strengthening the organization's ability to serve the community. She has made us aware of the fact that many times the poor and the unfortunate in our community are somewhat invisible. She has served as the volunteer chairperson of the city's rental committee and continues on the advisory committee. We're indeed fortunate to have Sally within our community, working with community services, and I'm also very pleased to welcome her as a friend as well. Congratulations, Sally. The next recipient is the Cupertino Community Holiday Basket Project. And I'd like to ask Myrna Jalesko and Jane Schiffer to come forward. Probably the two things that impress me most about the Cupertino Holiday Basket Project is the level of service that it provides and the number of people and organizations that it contacts. And those of us who run for political office always like to see the people who can get the people out to do the work, see? But this is people helping people. They were involved this year in making it happen for a number of people. The project served 249 families, totaling almost 1,000 people. Each of these families received a box packed with food, toys, gifts, and clothing collected by local elementary, junior high, and high schools. The items were donated by many groups, including the Cupertino Federated Women's Club, the Bank of America, Scout Troops, Civic Corporation, school district employees, and PTAs. Monetary donations were solicited and came in from different sources, including the Cupertino JCs, Women's Club, De Anza Kiwanis, American Legion Post, and Safeway stores. Over $2,300 was raised, including 10 cents by a concerned student from Lincoln Elementary School. So it reached down to all levels, and I think that's great. Volunteer time included the Cupertino JCs, Women's Club, St. Jude's Church, Cupertino Community Services, Safeway employees, Scout Troops, PTAs, schools, and many individuals. Total volunteer hours are estimated at something over 4,000. And truly, this is an example of community collaboration. The number of groups and individuals that contribute to the project, it's really, I think we would say practically everyone in this room probably has been involved in some way. But Myrna and Jane, we're proud of you and the Cupertino Holiday Basket Project. So congratulations to you as co-chairpersons. Our next recipient is Rich Shively. Rich is one of those people who not only makes a contribution himself, but enables others to do so by serving as a role model. Rich is the youth pastor at St. Joseph's Parish in Cupertino, and in this capacity has successfully involved youth in a wide array of community service. He has organized blood drives, and I think that's one of the things, we're getting the young people to donate their blood as well. Those of us who are a little older, sometimes it gets a little tired, get that fresh blood in there. He's given support to Friends Outside, which is a nonprofit group which aids the families of those in prison. Another one he's helped, and I think a lot of people don't know if we have in the county, is a place called Timpani Center. And Timpani Center is down near Valley Medical Center, and it is a therapeutic recreational facility for the handicapped. And in fact, it's in dire need now. Funds are being cut. So if you have some extra funds you want to donate, Timpani Center can use it. He's been involved with that. Serves the disabled, the Veterans Hospital, and then also within our own community, a facility called the Little Souls Nursery, which takes care of the very, very handicapped children that reside within the community. Rich has gone above and beyond the requirements of his job in organizing youth involvement. And as I said in the beginning, not only by what he does, but in his role modeling as well. So he's benefited the organizations I've just named, but the youth of St. Joseph's Parish as well, and the youth of the community, and the community itself. So Rich, thank you for your hard work and dedication. The next organization is the Astras Service Club from our very own Monte Vista High School. I'd like to ask Pat Flaherty and Maria Bautista to come forward. It's kind of interesting, as I headed for this tonight, I said to my son, who's a student here at Monte Vista, he belongs to the Key Club. I said, why isn't the Key Club getting an award? He said, we never do anything. And I said, that's why you're not getting an award. He said, we're great at parking cars, though. We're great at parking cars. So if any of you out there are soccer players, talk to Mark later. But the Astras are another example of youth service. Sponsored by Monte Vista High School, this group of young people holds fundraisers throughout the year in support of the Ronald McDonald House, which is up at Stanford there, for families of those children very ill, so the family can come and stay and be near their children. In fact, one of the Astras fundraisers, their fashion show, is taking place in this theater tomorrow afternoon. And I think are we getting a preview here? Such beauty we must be, right, okay. If you want to see more, come tomorrow afternoon. In addition to their fundraising activities, they're always available to serve, guide, or perform services to the school, to the community, and in this capacity, they certainly are an asset to not only Monte Vista, but to the entire community. So on behalf of the city, we want to thank you and congratulate you. This next one, our next recipient is also a group. I'd like to ask Bob Clancy, Jim Cochran, and Dorothy Stevens to come forward to accept the award on behalf of The Better Part. I have to be careful how I perform here. I'm auditioning really for this group. The Better Part is a cable TV show on Channel 3, our community access channel, and it highlights issues and activities of interest to the senior community, and that's why some of us are approaching that, and we like to be nice to them there. But The Better Part is produced by a dedicated group of volunteers who meet twice a week to plan and produce the show, which is aired on Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. The production team does everything from the planning of the topics, writing scripts, staging, lighting, editing to make the program a success. So they do it all. We've asked the producer, Bob Clancy, who's over here, his assistant producer, Jim Cochran, and finally the show's hostess, Dorothy Stevens, to accept the award. And thanks to you, senior citizens in our community have a show of their own. It's not only, though, I think, for senior citizens, it's for the entire community. So we want to thank you for all your work doing, and congratulations to you. This is a real quality here. I mentioned to them, they were up here last year, they won an award too. They're doing a great job. The last award in this category is for Lois Woodruff. To me, Lois is the epitome of community service. Her devotion to the Cupertino Library, I think the term that can be used is awesome. Beginning with her participation in the campaign to build the present library building in 1971, through her membership on the city's Library Commission, to her current position as president of the Friends of the Library, Lois has been an untiring advocate of our library programs, and I say this from personal experience. You want something done with the library, you talk to Lois, and then Lois talks to the other people, and things get done, believe me. She recruits volunteers for the library, organizes the Friends book sales, and volunteers in the library several times a week. And as if that is not enough, she attends City Council and Library Commission meetings, not only at the city level, but at the county level as well, to make sure that we tie in well there and get the things that we want, just to keep us on our toes and to keep them on their toes. She's truly one of Cupertino's great natural resources. I know her talents in recruiting people to work. She even convinced a Cupertino City Council member to play Santa Claus this year at the library. So Lois, congratulations to you. I'd now like to turn the program back to our Mistress of Ceremonies, Kathy Blackburn.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm pretty impressed. And one of the things that I think is most exciting about seeing all of these people is knowing that there are lots and lots of people out in the community, just like our recipients tonight, who are doing work and making this community a really nice place to live. I would like to just ask each of the recipients to stand one more time and let us give you a round of applause. You deserve it. One of the things that you might have been wondering as the council members were presenting each of the recipients with their award is, what is this award that we're giving them? I had meant to tell you about that before we started, and I didn't. Each recipient tonight received a proclamation signed by the mayor describing their accomplishments and congratulating them for that, framed, ready for hanging on the wall, and also received a city medallion, which is in the form of a city logo with their name engraved on it. And I don't have one up here to show you because we've given them all away, but I'm sure that someone at the reception can show you if you haven't seen it. The Monte Vista Madrigals, I don't know if you're all aware of this, but they just came back from a trip to China, and they may still be on China time. So what we're going to do is we're going to present the City Award first. I will, in a minute, introduce Mayor Johnson. All of the award recipients tonight were nominated by someone in the community. Whoever nominated this person was telling the city that these are the people that we think are really worthy of recognition. When we received the nominations, we put together an award review committee, and the committee was made up of one member of each city board and commission. The review committee looked at the nomination forms and reviewed them very carefully and chose two people that they felt were particularly outstanding in their contributions. It's really difficult because everybody tonight had a contribution that was really outstanding. But we felt that it might be really nice to award some of the recipients for their really outstanding contributions that may have spanned more than 1984, but over time. I would like to introduce Mayor Phil Johnson again, who will present the City Award.
When we set out to honor the citizens that you've seen tonight through the Civic Service Award program, we knew and we certainly hoped that we'd be impressed with the caliber of our recipients, and we have been. And tonight's group has certainly met that expectation and risen beyond that. Each of you represents really the best that Cupertino has to offer. And the most exciting part behind all of this is that each recipient of tonight's awards, behind all these people, there are hundreds of others in the community that are serving the community and helping each of us. And all of us can be proud of what these people here tonight have contributed and to what is also going on behind the scenes that we don't even know about yet. There is one more award to present tonight, and that is the City Award. If each of our Civic Service Award recipients does represent the best of Cupertino, the City Award recipients represent the cream of the crop. After all the nominations were in, and after the final group of recipients chosen, the selection committee that we had took a look at this group of people, and from this group, and with a lot of difficulty, chose two that they felt had the most outstanding record of effective community service. And the two people that will receive the City Award tonight in many ways are different, but at the same time similar. Different in that one recipient that you'll be seeing in a few minutes is distinguished by the variety of his contributions, and the other person is distinguished by the single-mindedness of her contribution to one cause. So it's similar in that each recipient has consistently given generously, tremendously of their time and effort for many years. And in a few minutes, I'd like to ask our recipients to please come to the podium. First person who I've known in all my years on the council, who you met earlier, is involved in countless activities. Richard Arbuckle, will you please come forward? Richard is everywhere in this community, in every organization. I've never seen anybody so involved. At last count, he had at least 3 businesses in addition to all the time and effort he puts in on a volunteer basis. And the award that we've prepared a special plaque, and perhaps I'll show it to you later on, that does have each person's name on it and locates the city of Cupertino as well. So Richard, congratulations and thank you for everything that you've done for us. Would you like that?
Well, if I have to say something, the one person I should really thank is my wife, Jenny, and my daughter, Debbie, because without their support, I wouldn't have the time to run around and do these things. And also for the Cupertino Kiwanis Club I belong to, it's given me the opportunity to participate.
For the next person, one of the first times I met her was before I was on the council, and at that time I was wandering the neighborhoods in search of votes, and this person came forward. I was walking the neighborhoods, and she was driving around in a car, and she stopped me and gave me a few kind, encouraging words. And today, nobody ever stops anymore. They speed up when they see me on the streets. But Lois Woodruff, if you'd please come forward.
I particularly want to thank my family because it means they put up a lot of tables at the library and they move a lot of boxes and they have a lot of late suppers. But I want to thank also the friends of the library and the staff because I think we have a wonderful staff. And I want to thank a council who comes and stands behind us and a city manager that support this library for our community so much. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to turn the meeting back over to Kathy.
Feels so businesslike that he calls this a meeting. Now I'm really going to have to get serious, I guess. I just have to add my own little personal note that I was introduced to Lois Woodruff's ability to recruit volunteers when I was talking with her on the telephone and said, boy, I'd really like to come to the book sale, but I'm not going to be able to be in town that weekend. Is there any way that I could come ahead of time? And she said, sure, you can volunteer to help us put the book sale together, and then you can get all the books you want. So, sure enough, I'll be there, Lois. I'd like to introduce now, I think I heard the pitter-patter of little feet back there, so I want to introduce a choral group that's very familiar to us in Cupertino and now internationally renowned. The Monte Vista Madrigals recently returned from a trip to China at the invitation of the Chinese government, where they performed from Beijing to Shanghai, performing 3 or 4 times a day in many cases. Tens of thousands of people heard them sing. Well, we're thrilled. In fact, we're so thrilled that we'll even forgive them if they have a Chinese accent tonight, because they're going to be performing some of the selections from the performances that they did in China, selections from That's Entertainment. And now, the Monte Vista Madrigals.
I don't want to be a tiger, 'cause tiger's way too rough. I don't want to be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind of love that I just want to be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and lead me anywhere. Oh, let me be, yeah. Oh, baby, let me be around you any night. Run your fingers through my hair, cut it me real tight. Oh, let me be, yeah. I don't want to be a tiger, 'cause tigers play too rough. I don't want to be a lion, 'cause lions ain't the kind of love I just want to be your teddy bear. Put a chain around my neck and lead me anywhere. Oh, let me be, yeah. Oh, let me be your teddy bear. I just wanna be your teddy bear.
I'm singing and singing, just singing in the rain.
Thank you very much. I would just like to say the ones that you've been enjoying, the four gentlemen that are alone this evening, we had one young lady just the day or two before we were ready to leave fall and wreck her knee, and so she was unable to dance. And we have one young lady tonight home with strep throat since we returned from our trip. We've had 5 of them just kind of going down. Not too many of them are able to sing quite up to the gusto they usually do because of illnesses. As you know, we just returned 2 nights ago from China. I would like to make one comment, though, about our trip. It was, right now it still is, you know, it seems almost impossible to believe all the things we saw. The Chinese government was very kind to us. We visited and stayed in 6 cities of China. And in one of the small towns that we were visiting, or one of the smaller cities we were visiting, I think it was only 1.5 million lived in that city. We had an evening of where they entertained us first, then we performed for them. And there was somewhere around 3,000 in the audience that night. And then all the city dignitaries, every one of them, there must have been 18 of them, met these young people at the end of the concert and shook hands with every one of them and thanked them for the friendship America brought to China and for the love they brought. The gentleman who was our spokesman, who was our interpreter for our time in that city, the next morning, as he was ready to wish us farewell, and we were on our way for Shanghai, he said, "I want to tell you people how pleased you've made me and how proud and how happy you made me when you sang. You brought so much love and friendship to our country." And he said, "May all our young people from now on meet on the concert stage and never again on a battlefield."
Thank you all for coming. Our reception is in the Monte Vista cafeteria, which is in this direction. You'll see the open doors. Please join us. Thank you.